Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Thursday, July 27th.
We have a motion on the floor by Mr. Ferry, a second by Ms. Chung, to approve the presented strings program contracts. We'll now call the question. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? All right, so that passes unanimously.
The Flagler County School Board votes unanimously to approve more than $78,000 in funding for the Flagler Youth Orchestra at Indian Trails Middle School. The decision comes in the wake of a financial controversy surrounding the program. In an interview earlier this year with WNZF, Cheryl Tristram, the former director of FYO, who resigned recently, shed light on the issues regarding the program's finances.
They were told that we were a separate entity, we were a separate nonprofit, or we were a separate corporation. And so if you believe that because someone's told you that from the school district, then you go out and you don't see this listed in Sunbiz. You don't see this listed as a charitable organization with the state. And so now it's like, haha, it's kind of a gotcha response that, there's wrongdoing going on. But the wrongdoing, or what was wrong about it, is that they were given the wrong information to begin with.
School Board Attorney Christy Gavin gave the school board an outside legal opinion that was requested by member Will Furry. The opinion states that they're comfortable as to how the program is currently constituted and operated. However, the utilization of an MOU was unnecessary.
They said we were in essence entering into an MOU with ourselves because the Flagler Youth Orchestra Strings program was not a separate organization.
Outside counsel also recommended the FYO be subject to an annual audit and review. Tristram had no problem with that.
The request for oversight of the account, for there to be an auditing process, is a completely reasonable request without question. But what bothered me was just the appearance that they're just assuming that wrongdoing has occurred.
Now the board will scramble to find a new program director, a new artistic director, and 2 employees who will work as instructors and conductors. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you. We're in the middle of hurricane season and anything can happen. Are you ready?
Officials are keeping a close eye on 3 disturbances in the Atlantic, one which may be near Flagler County as we head into the weekend. While the potential for development is currently low, it's never too early to prepare for anything that may come our way over the next several months, according to Flagler Emergency Management Director Jonathan Lord.
We really want to take this opportunity to remind our residents that we are in the middle of hurricane season. We are only now just approaching the peak of hurricane season, so the chance of us having impacts is increasing as we head towards that peak. And now is a great time to make sure that everyone has a disaster kit ready to be off the grid for 7 days, has a plan in place should you have to evacuate or should a storm come our way, what you're going to do to protect your home and your household. Also, make sure you have a way to get emergency alerts, whether you're listening to the radio, watching on TV, get them on the internet, and definitely sign up for our free Alert Flagler notification system. And then last but not least, for those who are interested in it, getting more involved in our community to help deal with disasters is by taking our community emergency response team training, which is coming up this fall. All of that great information on all the things I just mentioned can be found on our website at flaglercounty.gov/emergency.
Lord says this year is a new resource, a guide that includes the new potential hurricane evacuation zones. It's a map available at all government offices. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
Flagler County's unemployment rate is on the rise. It's up from 3.3 to 3.6% in June. Greg Blase, president and CEO of the Palm Coast Flagler Regional Chamber of Commerce, gives us some insight on the slight uptick.
The reason you have the increase in the unemployment rate is because although we did have nearly 500 more residents find work last month, we also found that more residents entered the workforce and more residents are in the unemployment line. So when you factor in those 2 items, we got a slight uptick in the unemployment rate. So 3.6% is definitely not bad. It's higher than a number that we've been used to hearing over the past several months. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on. But the underlying data suggests that we have a very strong local economy, hiring is happening, and people are finding work.
Despite the uptick, Blase says jobs are also growing in Flagler County, with the county eclipsing 51,000 total employed residents. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Amy Cherry.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.